And we're off. We got Colburn's, we got some Evans junk. Not so much junk. You ready for the day?
Always.
Let's go see what we can get into.
No.
You are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. How we doing, Bob?
Hey, how's it going?
Tell us where we are today.
Verona, New York.
Farm name?
Zennyll Farms.
Going on tour.
Been here since 1996. Came out of Connecticut, so migrated north.
Okay. Working on the planter then?
Yeah, rebuilding all new fertilizer. Rebuilding the fertilizer bearings. The fertilizer discs are good. We put all new seed disc openers, and we put all new germinators on the back. We're going to try out the germinators this year. See if that is going to help us close up our furrow a little better.
Okay.
1915, my grandfather's parents come over on a boat.
Yeah.
They come to America to see if they like it. My grandfather's born here, so he has citizenship because he's born here.
Yep.
They didn't like it. They went back to Slovakia. My grandfather turned 16, walked across Poland because he didn't want to live in Slovakia anymore, the way the communist country was. Worked at a merchant ship for a while, made it to America, went to Ellis Island, ended up on a farm in Shelton, Connecticut with Shelton's Dairy, and ended up the guy working for that guy. He died when he was 60 years old, and my uncle bought the farm after coming out of Yukon, and my uncle milked 60 cows. They bought their own milk and delivered. My grandfather was a milkman.
Yep.
My grandma sold the store, and I grew up on the family farm. But if my grandfather didn't have, just to come over here like that, be 16, leave your country, leave your family to come here and try
And
to
the unknown.
And that's what America was based on. This is where this country was based on. People coming here not to have the government take care of them, but to make a life for
Make a
themselves.
dream.
So yeah, going from a 2-row planter to a 16-row planter and automatic. So this is got very rate fertilizer, very rate seed. We put downforce on it last year, so we got hydraulic downforce, and all the boxes are getting all rebuilt on Castle equipment right now. I send them out every other year.
Yep.
So hoping for a good year. See what happens.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I'm gonna buy a tank and put it in the back of my Ford dump truck I bought this year, so I can save this from going up and down the road so much, get refilled. Yeah, and then we get time to work on this project. This is gonna run this year, my 1955 window NASCAR truck, I call it. So it's got NASCAR rain tires on it, Goodyear Eagles, and 350 motor with a Richmond transmission and Ford 9-inch rear. Got the interior getting done. Get a nice bench seat back in there. You got a NASCAR steering wheel. Just
Pops right off.
comes right off. It's like the old, it's pretty neat. NASCAR brakes in it. So this is kind of like my spin-off. All my NASCAR parts I took off my race car, put it in this thing, and built the truck back. It's on an S10 frame. So it should be a lot of fun to drive. Business is with a stacker, because someone's going to find help.
Yep. So you still have a stacker?
Yeah, 1972, still own it. 1069 Super still runs. I wanted to get a newer one, but we haven't got that far yet. Maybe buy a hot tub, huh?
Yeah, you bought the hot tub that cut into the stacker money.
Hot tub's a priority though.
Eddie named my sprayer the Green Widow because when I go down the road with the wide drops on and all the hoses are out, it looks like a big
Spider.
spider coming down the road. People don't pull out of the way for that. But when I go down the road with the wide drops on and the spider out, they just pull off into the roads and pull in the yards and get out of the way quick because they get scared. There's an old Super 1049 in the back there. See her? Got the old Lowell. She's a jammy. So that's antique right there. That's an old Oliver. You ever see those?
No.
That's an old Oliver. It's an
Just
Oliver tractor.
Turned around?
Turned around and it goes backwards. He's got a shuttle ship. They had an Oliver shuttle ship years ago. Right there. It's an old Oliver. Got a Continental engine in it. That works out good to move hay. Grabs 18 bales at a clip.
Yep.
When I built this barn, I knew that we weren't gonna find anybody to do hay, so we had no hay barn here, so we figured might as well do a way we could do it mechanically. We just put 30,000 bales, and I think we're putting about 15 to 18,000 now. This year a little bit more, we got more hay ground, more straw.
Absolute unit.
This is my favorite tractor job I make. It's 7930 with IVT transmission and front suspension.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
This has front suspension?
It's just awesome. It's just so comfortable to ride. I could put this thing in fuel saver mode plant, and the thing runs at 1400 RPMs, pulling a 16-year-old plant, I run 5 valves. It just cruises right along. I burn like maybe...
It just sips on
I
fuel.
don't yeah, it just sips on fuel. I don't even think I burn a gallon a week. These two, because I this guy, this Michelin.
What you need in your life?
Oh, definitely.
You all done spraying wheat then?
Yeah, I gotta do the neighbors. I did mine. I dropped 15 gallons of 28005.
How many acres of wheat?
I only got 105 acres of wheat and 30 acres of rye. But I got my wheat in late because we're going after soybeans. I want to get a hit to get it going, and I wish we'd get in a little bit earlier. But last year, just the
Those decals on backwards?
just the wildfires in California last year set the beans back a week.
Because of the sky.
The sky, because we were cloudy.
Yep.
Yeah, because of the haze. It cut the heat down, and beans got set back a week last year. That's our water table on the bottom. See the pond, that's our water table. So that's where the water table is. That'll go down a little bit more. That pond's a little bit overfull right now.
Yeah.
And they took all the gravel out of here. We had a lot nicer land we farm, but a lot of spots like that, they took it out for Lock 21. And when they built the Lock Canal, they rebuilt the locks. And then a lot of it went over to 365, building the highway. So they just went around and scarfed the gravel away. Now we're getting ready to put up a seed bar this summer too now. It's next thing.
How long you been a channel dealer?
5 years now. I'm gonna put up a 56 by 104 barn up there now.
Just for seed storage?
Yeah, we need it for storage because the barn down there is getting really hard to put it in down there. And I built my own little lime pile there last year. Put bunkers up for that. We're gonna put an open pit, and I covered up with plastic really good over the winter. So it's nice to haul. I could get lime in August. It's kind of hard to get lime in wintertime and springtime because everybody wants it at once. So we just kind of haul every day. Pour it out of Cobblestone. Sold my groomer and bought the loader for that 6430. I like that tractor now. I didn't like it before, but I like it so much better now with a loader on it.
That have an IVT too?
That's IVT, yeah.
Okay.
It worked out really well. Building needs a little bit extra weight in the back. I think I might fill a 55-gallon drum full of concrete. And
Just for the bucket work?
for the bucket work, yeah.
And those are a set of the accelerators?
Yep.
And you like those?
Tires, we get the tire fixed. The tire guy was here. He spent about 5 hours in there today.
Last year was your first year with these?
2 years now. We do some fall tillage with it to knock the corn stalks down.
Yep.
Trouble we're just getting parts for it. We just put all new bearings in the center because they're all greaseless bearings. So we just went through and took every gang off in the bottom. But next year we're gonna reblade it all. It's gonna be blades, so it'll be $7,000 to put blades on it. They wear down fast to gravel.
Yeah. No, they definitely do.
But it works great. So we use it for a disc too. We don't have a disc, so if we do any mobile plowing for like plowing down side, we'll just use that for the disc. It's pretty much our tool. I never was a disc person. 1955 camper, slept two. Then I lived in my truck for about a week or two, and then eventually I put a mobile home in, and then I built my house 5 years after the mobile home. So it was a rough life growing up. We didn't have much.
Would you have one tractor?
I had a 1066 I came up with, and I had my 886, and I had a 4440. And and that was it. I put 70 acres in the first year, and now we're doing 1,500. It's all my trash.
He's not thrilled. All sorts of seed. So this was the first Agway barn. He'll have to re-quote when it was put in. What year was that barn built?
1972, Agway's first freestall barn. It was a show farm. They had the lean-to wasn't off the side, but it was just the farm was here like 45 by 135.
Yep.
And freestall. And they had a double 4-power, herringbone power. That was the first farm they built for freestalls, and they were showing everybody this farm here as a show farm. Insulated ceiling used to have years ago.
Yep.
Then I put this addition on, and now we went to just doing a bunch of boxes. If I treat beans for a channel, anything east of 81 we treat with fungicide.
Yep.
We're gonna start treating all these boxes up.
And the point of treating for
So,
fungicide.
for fungicide, so we started treating beans, and if you think back, if you grew beans, a lot of we used to spray aphids and stuff like that, and now we don't have to because we're putting a treatment up front. It's lasting mid-season for the aphids aren't really getting into the beans, and it's working. It's the same thing as a GMO corn, you know. You're putting some on there, and it's just keeping. It's making a healthier plant.
You're being proactive on that side of it.
And we plant beans first. I like to plant my beans first. I'll go put beans before I do corn. I'll go plant beans. I think beans will take the stress better in corn.
Than corn will?
likes warmer soils, and beans will just sit there and come up and do all right.
So
I'm
when-
gonna my old dad's Worthington's over here. I gotta get it up and fix it. See my Worthington? That's I don't even know what year it is, but that's my father's pride and joy tractor. I gotta put it. I gotta get a thing. Just gotta go to farm and some bitch's show. This is it.
There's a shout out.
Old Worthington.
Yep.
That must have my father's pride and joy, man. That was a
What
great-
day's his show?
It's like September. It's like right after week after Memorial Day, I think. Is there Labor Day? After Labor Day. Yeah, this is a jam. It's an old 2004. I need to get rid of that. I'm never gonna find time to work on that too. I just need to find a home for that thing. But yeah, this is. I gotta put a couple tires on this thing, get it fixed up and ready to go. This is an old. It's got an old flathead Dodge engine in it. Antique.
Yeah.
I just gotta find. I need to find somebody to get me. I need exhaust manifold. The manifold cracked right off it. The back section. I need to find someone who's gonna have a manifold for me. It's right here, going right off the back here. So if I can find the exhaust manifold, I'd be all excited.
Huh. What year is this?
I want to say it goes back to the 50s, and this was really popular for long. This was a golf course tractor. It's got a 4-speed transmission in it. The father used to have a plow on the front, and he had a hydraulic cylinder there. He used to pump by hand to pick the plow up like a plow. This is his pride and joy, man. He thought this thing's the greatest thing since sliced bread. The old Worthington. So I got a Worthington game mowers that go behind it too. I picked them up at auction. So Worthington game mowers and that. It's pretty neat. He used to always run chains on there for traction.
Yep.
I think that outside tire's original rubber still on it. That's what they had, them little like military tires.
Yeah. Then-
Yep.
So the seed you sell, how much is soybeans and how much is?
So we
Corn.
got a lot of this is going out towards you in Massachusetts because we treat beans here. So these beans go out to our dealers out there too.
Oh, okay.
So we got a bunch here now. Go check out my Peterbilt. Gotta find somebody that wants to buy me. This is my big spreader over here. I want to get rid of it. Drop some back in there. This is the clean spreader. The whole street ton. There's the brackets we built for the front.
Yep.
We can categorize it up. It's just getting rusty. You know, you think you spend. I think this spreader was 23 grand new. Why wouldn't you build it out of stainless steel?
Yep.
Just crazy.
Ours is the
We
same,
wash it all the time. It just,
but it just, no matter what you do.
yeah, it's fertilizer. You need stainless steel. That was my first truck, my old 1997.
So ours only holds a ton.
34,
that holds 3.
16. That was a while. So we put this in. This is my edible bean equipment. This is we put this in for edible beans, and then they got out of the edible bean business because the prison, which is 5 miles away, was buying like 80 tons of beans a year, blacks and kidneys. Supposed to buy them processed in New York, or at least processed and grown in New York. So either one or the other.
Yeah.
And they lost a bid to a Pennsylvania company. How's that work?
All right.
Politics. So we got out of that, went to seed. This still has some rye in it. So this will separate stones, but also separate, like, it'll take corn out, soybeans out of corn. It'll do anything because it's all done by weight.
And that's a shaker, pretty much?
So I'll turn it on quick. Yeah, it's got a fan.
It blows the light stuff up.
I use it all the time anyway because this helps feed the rest of the plant.
Yeah.
And this is so I had to keep this. This goes behind the Worthington. This is like the Amish buggy.
Real steel wheels.
I got ran over by this when I was 3 years old and broke my pelvis, so I got to keep it because it's like the only bone I ever broke. So this same way, this separates by gravity everything. So the better quality goes on one side, and the lighter quality goes on one side. So it shakes.
Slips through.
Like all your good seed to go to that side, and that's what I bag.
Yep.
And then the lighter stuff and a little bit of trash comes to this side. So we'll just take that and throw it off and use it for like cover crop. So this separates my good seed for test weight and the bad seed. We clean sunflowers. We can clean any kind of seed. And it goes up in that funnel. I bag out of the funnel.
Yep.
And then the next piece of equipment is?
You know, you got that's a bean treater.
That's what that is?
Yeah, it's a portable bean.
Oh.
The box comes up on top. It's got scales.
Yep.
It fills in our box. And you put a powder on called 007, which makes it really slippery. It goes through the planters. You don't get hung up.
Okay.
And there's a concave. We took out a John Deere to put those. We put those, what's his face, concaves in. I'm trying to think what they're called now.
Yeah, the special.
The special ones, and they plugged up on me when the corn gets wet. It's not good, and we still keep these around.
Previous videos, I taught Evan how to combine. So that's what's inside of the combine that actually separates out.
That's your concaves.
Evan's still learning though.
I learn every day.
Out the Ruby.
Oregon.
Yeah.
For everybody who watches Andy's videos, there's some of his corn seed.
There you go. So my issue with this barn is, for a seed barn, is I run out of room a little bit, but it's so hard to keep the mice away because you can't close your doors down.
Yep. So 2 buggies.
Yeah, we just the old one. We just use this one for part-time in the fall, and this is one that we clean. So we clean about 14,000 bushel of Milo. I grow 160 acres of Milo.
Okay.
So we got clean it before we go to birdseed factories with it.
So that's what Milo goes into? Birdseed?
Yeah, birdseed. Goes into some dog food and stuff now. And this is my old mill we picked up. It's a Fanny Mill, 1946 it was built. You see it's OSHA approved.
Yep.
But yeah, this old Jamie, she's still running. She's an animal.
This is a 46.
46 crimping, yes. So the same equipment in there, as in 2013 is built by this company. They're in Michigan.
Yeah.
Right
And it's
above.
the same. It's about the same process.
So no, this is your initial process. This will take off, like doing edible beans. This will take the dirt out of the beans.
Yeah.
Now doing Milo, we put the Milo through. It'll take all the trash out. So it vacuums the light trash out, puts it outside. It'll sift out. It sifts everything out. So it sifts it out and takes the fines out. So we stack all the fines in here, comes in out of the machine and put it in here.
Yeah.
And this becomes the Milo fines, and then we send that down to a guy in Connecticut for non-GMO feed.
Okay.
Yeah, feeds for chickens. So this we clean. It's the only thing growing Milo. If you grow Milo, it's hard to get rid of it into these plants because they gotta have it cleaned.
Yep.
And
So you need all this to make it worth it.
we still got one more load to clean. Otherwise, we did 12,000 bushel this year. Yeah. Then we get the weigh buggy for originally we had just a top dry.
Huh?
We'll be making a debut.
You grow corn?
Yeah.
Thought you just.
So originally we had top dry. This was a top dry, but the top dry caught on fire on Friday the 13th, which is always a bad day.
Yep.
And we had the harvester, and we had 2 concrete silos. We got rid of the concrete silos, and we put the system in when the corn price was good. And so now we got 100,000 bushel of storage, and we have our wet tank holds 120 tons.
So your wet tank in the back.
Yep. We feed in with a 10-inch auger
Yep.
into the wet tank, and then it feeds. The only thing I messed up on the wet tank is I shouldn't have put it so far away from the dryer because we only feed with a 6-inch auger. So like this year, it was really hard for the auger to keep up.
Yep.
You don't want it to overrun.
So wet corn goes in. Yep. Then it gets augered, goes into the dryer.
And it goes up the leg and shoots some ladders and goes where it wants to go.
You use the harvester then?
Yeah, harvester. Yeah, so the harvester doesn't have a fan, so I'll fill this 38,000 bushel bin, and then we'll take it out. We'll decore some of the bins and dump it in the harvester.
Yep.
And just move it, so it works out good. You want like 13 grand to put a floor in that thing. It wasn't worth it.
No.
We run the old harvester motor to get it out, you know. To get the bottom out. Most of it comes out the auger on the side, and we go the rest of the way. The only thing I would have done different was I would have built the bins a little bit further from the barn and made it for you to get a bobcat all the way around, because it's really hard to clean all the stuff.
Cleaning stuff around.
It's really hard. This was the original farm. There was a farmhouse. We bought and tore the farmhouse down and got rid of it.
Sounds like a common trend.
Yeah. Believe it or not, the vacant farmhouse would bring people in there. We had a lot of theft with the vacant farmhouse.
Yeah.
Once you got rid of the vacant farmhouse, it eliminated that problem. And their edible bean picker we're going to get rid of here.
Didn't Farming Some Bitch get one from you?
You got puller. Let's drag that over here to maybe get the dolly wheel.
I like the little dolly wheel setup.
That worked pretty good for the drop deck. And we got a field cultivator there. And our seed treaders here. Our old race car shop here on the left. That's got a lift in it. And then we got our hay equipment over here.
What I need for a mower.
Before Kuhn went to do double rake hitch, we made our
Yep.
own rake hitches with the Pequot rake hitch.
Oh.
This is my old buggy. This came from the Shelton farm. Remember I was telling you about the farm?
Yep.
This is the old buckboard buggy that came off that farm. Yeah, it's my piece of history.
Crazy.
But this, so my game plan was to buy, this is back my game plan. If you bought 2 individual rakes, you could trade them in and get newer rakes faster because they'll trade in a lot better. It's a lot easier to sell one rake than to sell a double rake.
Yep.
But they never traded the rakes. So.
Just kept on.
Just kept them, so.
That's pretty neat though.
Yeah, works pretty good. Well, this is our wave buggy. You go weigh salvage weights we channel.
Yep. Just a big scale.
That's the old frame out of 1950 Chevy right there. Roll barn. This is the rest of our hay equipment. 8-star tedder.
Yep.
I like, you know, the New Holland's got a better drive system. Go to category 5, I think they go through, instead of John Deere. But John Deere still makes a better bale for our stacker.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how New Holland makes a stacker wagon, but John Deere makes a better
bale?
It just seems it's really hard to judge the hay going in on the New Holland, and you have to go so slow. You gotta be perfect speed to make that size bale. Because with the stacker, you're stacking in 37-inch long bales, and you get somebody out there goes a little bit faster, makes a 39. Well,
then it messes everything
doesn't
up.
fit. Yeah, it just doesn't fit. You get it's slower baling with a stacker. You gotta go a really slow speed. But I don't know. The hay business seems to work out good for us. We just do it for fun. So yeah, I don't know what's fun or not. It wasn't fun doing 35,000 bales a year, but no labor involved, and it's such a good part.
Yeah. Yanko is all revved up, chasing birds, running around, barking. Come on! Come on, load up.
This valley is the Mohawk Valley, and back in the Ice Age, according to what scientists have come up with, the St. Lawrence River got blocked by an ice jam, and all the water came through the Great Lakes, came down here to get to the Hudson River.
Oh yeah?
So all the water came down here. So we have gravel deposits, sand deposits. So like this field, sandy in a corner, and you got gravel knolls. You go across the creek here, it's got sand. It's all bark sand. It's got clay mixed in it, so it's good sand. It's not like blow sand. So yeah, it's just different topography. It's weird. You go once you climb up elevation here, you go to swamp. Like above, coming the way to my place, you go up 20 feet elevation, go up the road, and people can't mow their lawns because they're getting stuck.
Huh.
It's the complete opposite.
So on the Milo stubble, you run it through with the accelerator, or?
Yeah, well, sometimes with that we'll pull a ripper over it. We got the Brilliant Lincoln in there.
Yep.
We'll pull that over it.
That only grows like what, 5-6 foot? Four.
It's kind of weird when you combine it. The stalks will still be green, and the heads are dry. Like the stalks are bright green. Green is gonna be, and the heads are dry. But you need to get it dry. 22% Milo is like drying 28% corn. It's brutal.
And you run that through with corn? Draper head?
Yeah, Draper head. I should have brought the piece of the motor. So the combine sits over here, and it's all dirty. We never just got blown up. But when we were combining last year in a field down here on the left, I ended up feeling a bad vibration, and by the time I shut it off, I found the cap of the connecting rod in the back of the tailboard of the combine. That wasn't good, is it?
That's not usually good.
Yeah.
Those are spare parts you probably don't want to find.
This is the place you were telling me. This is the one I asked you about if they'd ever get rid of, right?
Yeah, this is the greenery. This is another dryer we have here. We got 30,000 bushels of storage here.
This is your storage here?
Yeah, it's another farm part of the farm. I bought this tractor back in 1988. 6,500 bucks. But you think about it, wasn't it old back then? 'Cause it was 1977, so it's only 11 years old. Go farming old style. Transmission linkage is pretty bad. We rebuilt it a couple times, but my buddy bought a 766 that had 1,200 hours on it.
Yeah.
When you hop on something like that, it's amazing
How much tighter everything is?
The only thing I like the International, it's a great motor, but the front ends didn't last like the John Deere, and the shifters don't last. They don't hold up like John Deere.
Nope.
This is old. So Todd Dumont actually built this thing back years ago, and I bought it off of O'Hare. This is a 7,200 planter frame with Remlinger units on it. So knife down about 7-8 inches, and we put fertilizer down behind there and got row cleaners on it. And
So you're running this in front of the planter, and then you're planting into that.
into that every 30 inches. It's got an 8-inch wide trench.
What are you running for fertilizer on this?
So we're on the same thing you put in the planter. So we'll put down some fertilizer down 5 inches deep, and other fertilizer goes 2 by 2.
Yep.
So we got 2 placements, fertilizer. Oh. And this pull is easy because I could pull this to 7930, 16 rows, believe it or not.
At what speed?
I could pull it 5 miles an hour. It doesn't pull hard. We're
that is
going in 8 inches. Where like if you get a deeper ripper ones, it goes down 12 inches. You're going to have 400 horsepower.
Yeah.
So the rumbling units aren't bad. You get rocky conditions, it'll shear off the main bolts that try to hold on. So you gotta keep your share of 7/8 bolts. Yeah, this is the old girl that put a big motor side of the motor. We're gonna get a new motor for this year. Should put a flashlight up here. You can't see her, but you can feel her. You need a flashlight to see her, but you can feel the hole. You get your light there?
Yeah, we'll pull that out. What year is this combine?
It's 2009. I seen in 2009 they had a big hole in the block. Still want to know how that piece came out of there. It didn't take out the filters and ended up on the tailboard back there, but it bounced against here and went down like this. Catastrophic.
Yeah. No,
We had the motor out 3 years ago, cylinder number 6. We had a head gasket blow, and we had to fix that, and they just claim the 97 70s are turned up so much and a little bit of pollution on it, it just kills them. It's a great combine, but I don't know, there's no trouble with the motors. It parks inside a warm heated shop every night, sleeps. Never sleeps outside.
So you got a new motor for it then?
Yeah, we're gonna go through John Deere and get a new motor for it. We didn't get a chance to wash it because it was here. We just blew it all off, and I rent a big commercial air compressor and just blow off everything. It makes life a lot nicer.
Yep.
Because pressure washing is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
You should have bath oil in here, huh?
Yeah. It was running though?
It ran until I shut it off, and then it didn't.
Didn't want to go again?
Yeah, it was pretty much done. And we towed it up the road with a 79, the 9220. We towed it up the road and got it up here. And then the hardest part was getting the head down because you had to crack the lines. And
Yep.
I put a piece of cardboard between me and just cracked the line. And finally broke and sprayed everywhere and flying down to the ground. And so then we gotta get out of here to get that strip clear up, bring it home, and do a couple work on it. So yeah, it's going to get pulled out.
It's on the list.
Heartbreak when you lose your combine. It's kind of hard to wake up the next day and want to go to work. Yeah.
Great service at Clinton Tractor though. Oh, hook you up.
Yeah, it's hard. White system. All this thing here has an old MC dryer that was. This was a granary years ago. You could still store grain. We store grain in one here inside. It's got cables and stuff to hold together. But that's what the grain barns were years ago.
Yep.
It's got an old-fashioned leg actually over here to feed to go into it. But
You said there's 30,000 of storage here?
yeah. Got a little leg, cross augers, and that's just an old MC. That was real popular around here. A lot of MC dryers have sold.
You still use the dryer?
Yeah. Dryer, yeah. This is the old leg. Check this thing out, man. You drop it down. And this was the old leg years ago. It would feed up into the bin here. So a little piece of history there.
And that's all crib corn.
Well, crib corn, this went up and dumped up in here, and then had a slide to go into there too. You could feed off, and they used to feed out of here. This was a grain operation years ago.
That's wild though.
One day, Bob Stukes farm right here, and he drives his lawn tractor up. He had to be close to 90 years old. He asked me to go for a ride in the combine before he died. And sure enough, I picked him up, gave him a ride in the combine. So he told me he's one of the original people that bought a tractor years ago. I can't remember what brand it was. So he went to Syracuse and bought it, steel wheels, did 5 miles an hour, and he made it as far as where the casino is, and they ran out of gas. They couldn't make it all the way home. It was just funny to hear stuff all day long just to get home. So it's usually in a mobile plow, it's 10 minutes that way and 10 minutes back. It's not much faster. It's probably about the same way right now. It's about 10 minutes there, 10 minutes back. With my sprayer to go around a 200-acre field, spraying 90 feet, I can spray 20 acres in one pass.
Yep.
So we bought a brilliant Land Commander 3. I tried it out. I liked it. The reason why is we ripped 20 inches apart. The disc just tear up top a little bit, mix the stalks in, but we're deep ripping 12 inches down every 20 inches to get the compaction back out of the ground.
Okay.
All dead online out of Iowa because nobody wanted it in Iowa. And this is the 9220. We bought this Craigslist 2 years ago. Eric Buckwet found it for me on Craigslist. Bought it out of Nashville, Illinois, sight unseen, and showed up, and it's been a tractor ever since. Brand new sneakers on the inside now. See?
Well, Bob,
All right.
really appreciate the tour, the time, the
Enjoy
shirt.
the shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a wrap, huh?
Yep.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Enjoy your next tour, man.
Well, we're at Bob's. We're headed to the next stop, but I think that's it for this video, so you're gonna have to tune in and like and subscribe for the next action video. So we're out of here. Have a good one.